channel update for the month of January 2014. This is the first channel update of the brand new year. And I wanted to sort of relay some information in this one regarding the game pre-orders, which I'm going to be going in a couple weeks. So I'm going to be letting you guys know which games I'm going to be pre-ordering, as well as more information on the VGAs and some other information about the games I've been playing and whatnot. So this is obviously, you know, a really big year because new year we have brand new game releases, but also, more importantly, this is the first full year that the next gen consoles are gonna have to show us with their new launch or the new, you know, first wave of next gen titles coming in. There's just a couple out there that are really gonna be, you know, that are really next gen only titles. You know, it's not like it's last gen and this gen. It's really just you know, these are really the true next gen titles coming out. So it's a pretty exciting time. I, for one, am really excited, and I can't wait to do that. So a bit of a recap. Now you guys are seeing this channel update. This marks the end of this long list of content that I've been putting out for basically every day, every consecutive day. I've been having brand new content come out. It started off in Christmas, around Christmas time, I would say Christmas Day actually, where I took advantage of a lot of the Steam holiday sales, and there was a lot of great sales on this holiday, and I bought actually a lot of games, and I caught up pretty much at the last second with everything I wanted to play for this year. So on Steam, I got Batman Arkham Origins, The Bureau, XCOM Declassified, Aliens Colonial Marines, Gone Home, The Stanley Parable, Outlast, and Papers, Please. All right, those are 7 games that I bought over the course of the Steam holiday sale. I probably spent a combined total. Let's see, Batman Arkham Origins cost me $20. Aliens was $2. The Bureau was $12. So it's 14 plus 20, 34. And we have Outlast, which was like, I believe $6 for Outlast, so that's 40, plus $5 for Papers, Please, 45. Gone Home was 7, no, 6. I want to say $6. So I probably spent around $60 for all those 7 games and got them for, you know, less. I would say 75% off or even more, you know. So it was pretty cool. I'm glad I've been able to get those. I've been playing them, and I've been making some pretty good progress. The first game I played was Batman Arkham Origins, and I played through it. Now this is a game I pre-ordered actually at the beginning of 2013. I pre-ordered it previously, and I was actually gonna get it on release day. That was a plan. And then when more information surfaced about the game, that it wasn't being developed by Rocksteady, that it wasn't going to have the returning voice actors, and, you know, just when more information surfaced, I kind of got scared off, and I decided to change my pre-order, and I went to GameStop, and I went to go cancel my pre-order. And at that time, the guy was like, yeah, you can't cancel the pre-order and put the credit on something else or something. Or actually, no, he said you can't cancel the pre-order and get your credit back. Or it was something stupid and something I know that he could do, but because I guess they were trying to meet their quota, they wanted to, you know, not give me whatever. So they made me pre-order something else, and I took a leap of faith with Metro Last Light, and I loved that game. That game was tremendous. And it turned out pretty well, but I canceled Arkham Origins. And then the reviews came out, and it was just mediocre reviews here and there, nothing really special. You were saying this was like the worst Batman Arkham game out there, but I got to play the game, and I beat it over the course of, I think, of 2 days or whatever. And, you know, I don't see the huge deal with like the game. It's fine. It's a perfectly functional game. I think the story of Arkham Origins is better than any of the other Arkham games out there, than anything Rocksteady developed. The story is much more relatable. You have a much more relatable hero this time around. And I was able to connect with Batman in that sense because he's such a, you know, me, myself, and I, and everyone for himself mentality. This is like he's really young. This is like his first debut in this, and he's very much in the mindset of I can do it all on my own. And I'm sort of like that. I have that mentality that it's everyone for himself, and that if I do something, I want to do it. I don't want help from anyone. And I was able to connect with him in that way, in that really interesting sort of relationship. And then towards the end, you see him sort of start to be like, okay, fine, I do need help, and he starts making friends with the police force and such. So it was a very interesting relationship I had with the character that I didn't have in any previous Arkham game, and I think the story was much more interesting. And they obviously great graphics. I played on my PC. I got about 50 frames per second or 50 frames per second average with physics and pretty much max settings at 1080p, which was great. So the game performed really well, and the only problem was I didn't feel like the gameplay, like the main combat mechanics, were as refined. There were many times where I know I pressed the Y button, I know I pressed the Y button, but he wouldn't counter. It was like weird, and a lot of times where I'm trying to incapacitate downed enemies, and I'm pressing the combination, and it wouldn't play out. So it was like weird. The controls were less refined, but the story was more powerful. So in the end, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I did enjoy it. I don't think it's as bad as what everyone else is saying. It's a good game. It is. It's a good game. It's a perfectly functional game, and I think the story is better than anything Rocksteady ever developed. So apparently, Rocksteady is developing another Batman game, which I'm a bit tired of it now, because now that Batman is like considered a good game now. Warner Brothers seems like any developer. When they put something out and it gets good reviews, they're gonna oversaturate the market with that license, and this is what Warner Brothers is gonna do. They're gonna keep using the Batman name, and I hope they don't dry it out, but they're gonna keep putting more Batman games out there because they know that they're gonna be considered good games and that they're gonna sell more or less. So, but I would like to see them tackle another superhero. I'm done with Batman. I don't feel like I need another Batman game. I feel like I've had too many in the past generation. I mean, let's cut it. I think Arkham Asylum and Arkham City were enough. I really do. I actually liked Arkham Asylum more than I liked Arkham City, but that's beside the point. So after that, I played Aliens Colonial Marines. Now this is a game everyone said was horrendous, and it was just awful, and it was like the worst game in history. So that being said, I went into the game with low expectations, really low expectations. Now, I did actually plan to buy the game on release, like brand new, when it came out earlier this February, and I decided last minute not to. I was getting ready to. I bought the Alien Anthology Blu-ray set that came with all 4 movies on Blu-ray, and I watched the first Alien and Aliens to sort of get that sort of history with the characters and where Aliens Colonial Marines is going to start off from. And I did this at the beginning of the year. So that being said, I decided not to actually delve into Aliens Colonial Marines after hearing the reviews, after hearing what everyone was saying, and I was a little bit disappointed. But I got it for $2 on Amazon. It was pretty cool. So Amazon had this really cool deal, $2 for a Steam code, and I was able to play the game and get it. So, but I played it later this year, so my memory on the Aliens movie wasn't as strong as it would have been if I did actually play it earlier this year. Here's the thing. It's not. It's weird because I can understand why an Aliens fan would be ripping pissed with the game. I can understand that because I feel like I shot more humans than I did aliens in that game. For myself, not being an Aliens fan, just playing the game as it is a video game, it wasn't as bad. However, technically, the game does still have its problems. I played the game almost a year from its release, and there were 2 glitches I encountered, and 2 of them were the same glitch. It was basically a door I couldn't get through. It was a door I couldn't that the guys wouldn't open. And I guess this is a known glitch, but all I had to do was quit from the main menu, and then restart the game and go back in there, and everything was fixed. Everything was fine. So it was a little bit of annoyance. It only popped up 2 times. The game just was boring to me. It just was boring, and I wasn't really involved in the story, being that I'm not really an Aliens fan, so I wasn't really engrossed in the fact that this is a sequel to the movie, and that, my history with it goes so deep because this was a huge part of my childhood. I didn't go in there with that mentality. So the story wasn't really grabbing my attention to begin with. I played it on the PC at its highest possible settings. It feels like the game's an HD upgrade from something else, which makes sense because it was in development for like 10 years or something like that. So the game just really bored me. That's really all I have to say, is the game just bored me, and there was nothing really physically wrong with it. It's like Fuse. It's like Fuse, where there's nothing really wrong with the game. It's just so tedious and boring. But Fuse dragged on for 8 to 10 hours. Aliens was only about 6, I would say. So the shooting mechanics also, I feel, weren't refined enough to make it a first-person shooter when you're shooting actual, human enemies. They're very floaty. The shooting mechanics are very floaty. Your weapons don't really feel that accurate, and they more or less feel like toys. It's like when you're shooting something, you don't really feel like bullets are coming out of it. It's weird. It's very floating shooting mechanics, and it's just odd. So, I don't think the game is a 1. All right, I don't think the game is a 1. I'd say it probably is a 2. All right, but I don't think the game is a 1. I don't think it's ripping horrible. Again, I played it much later, so if I would have played it towards the beginning of this year when it was brand new, and I would have experienced how glitchy this game is, or was, then I think maybe it would have been worse than that. But I played games that are just absolutely horrible, and that ones I just don't ever want to play again. And this was not really one of them. This was a game that I probably won't play again and probably not even be memorable. But it wasn't just ripping awful. Just this thing should never even have been a game, sort of. It kind of felt like just a boring, tedious video game, and that was it. All right, so that there's my review on it. Of course, it was played. Me having to tell you guys based off my own experience. A lot of other people will tell you something different because they played it at the beginning of the year when it was brand new, and so they had to deal with much more glitches where they didn't have all the patches and the updates for the game fix all that. So just keep that in mind. The game was $2, so why not? If the game's $2, I don't care how horrible it is. Why not? So I got to play the game. The second game I played after that was the Stanley Parable. All right, and I sort of beat the game already when I was doing my first impressions, but I did play the game after that a little bit more just to kind of get a flavor. It's hard to rate a game like that because in terms of gameplay, you're sort of just being fed information, and you sort of just have to explore. So games like those, I really don't feel like I want to rate. But, they're always enjoyable to play. So, the Stanley Parable is an interesting game. I think it definitely has a lot of replay value because there's so many different scenarios, there's so many different paths that you can take throughout the game. There's definitely a lot of replay value for anyone there. So I think it's a good step in the right direction. I'd like to see something similar, of the Stanley Parable, but on a much larger scale, sort of. But I think I really did enjoy the game. I think it's interesting. I like the whole concept, of you being the only one in that office and you're just sort of this normal dude and you don't know what's going on, and there's so many different scenarios for what happened to your coworkers. What is this place that you're really working at, and all this cool stuff. So it's an interesting game, and definitely I enjoyed my time with it. Um, I'm not gonna rate that, but anyway, those are the three games I played. There's actually four. What's the Papers, Please too. I did actually beat Papers, Please. My God, I took a leap of faith with that game, and I encourage everyone. It's unfortunate because a lot of people, especially consumers, they're so scared to take a leap of faith. And in this economy with the money situation, what a lot of people have, where they can't afford to go get 10, 15 games out there and take chances and spend $60 on a brand new IP that they know nothing about. It's unfortunate. This is where sort of gaming struggles, where I feel like games, good games that are brand new franchises that are taking a chance, they don't sell well at all. I mean, look, Remember Me was a brand new IP released in the middle of this year, middle of last year, excuse me. And it was a really good game. The story was amazing, amazing story that really involved its characters and that had a really great twist and that you really enjoyed. It was a really enjoyable, amazing storyline mixed in with some gameplay that sort of got boring a little bit later on. But it was a great experiment, and I don't know how that game did sale wise, but it's a brand new studio, and it's unfortunate, but I know a lot of people. And that game actually went to $12 on Steam for the holiday sale, and I hope a lot of people bought it when it was on sale. But games like that. Also, Binary Domain, which was an amazing storyline. It was a great game. It was fun. It was a lot of fun to play too, and great graphics and a great story. And the game only sold 20,000 copies, and it's like. It's really unfortunate because when I take leap of faith, especially, during sales like the Steam Holiday Sale, you can really find something special. Papers, Please was an exceptional game. It was a game that I literally had no interest in. After looking at footage, I'm like, this doesn't look appealing to me at all. And then the game got marked down, and I was like, alright, fine. And I spent $5 on the game, and I was so surprised because it has one of the most addicting game formulas I have ever even played, and it has a great art style, and it really just makes you think. It's just an exceptional game, and also the Bureau XCOM Declassified. I took a chance with that as well, and I'm actually playing through that now. Excuse me. That is actually the current game I am playing through at this particular moment. Is the Bureau XCOM Declassified. After that, I think I'm gonna go play Outlast, but the Bureau XCOM Declassified. Here's a game that I looked at and it wasn't really appealing to me gameplay wise, and I was actually contemplating whether or not to buy it on release because there was just like nothing coming out and I was so bored. It was the build up to Grand Theft Auto 5 and it was just boring. I wasn't into Saints Row. I had Splinter Cell Blacklist, but I wanted something else sort of, and I was contemplating whether or not I should go and buy it. And I actually went to my GameStop and I asked them, "Do you guys have the Bureau on PC?" And they said no, so they didn't have it available when I went to go and buy it. I could have bought it for console, but I did want it on the PC. But it got marked down for Steam, and I decided to take a chance with it. And here's a game that I'm currently playing through right now, and it's great. This is a game that got mediocre reviews, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, what is wrong with this game? I'm really trying to really look hard for. What is exactly wrong with this game? Because there is nothing. There is not the biggest similarity of this game that I can place it with is Mass Effect. If you like Mass Effect, you'll like this game. If you really enjoyed games like Mass Effect, a squad-based RPG sort of shooter, then you'll really enjoy this game. It's just great, but it's set in the '60s style. With this alien invasion going on, the shooting mechanics are very responsive. They're very refined, And controlling your squad and stuff is really awesome. There's all these powers that you can use and stuff that really make it interesting to play and can really change up the gameplay and the way you level up your guys. You can actually customize and name your own squad, which is something that Mass Effect didn't even have. You could customize your squad in Mass Effect, but you couldn't like name them and create new characters and choose their specific, you know, history with you know what their combat skills are. You know, it sort of has a little bit more customization than your typical Mass Effect game, in regards to, you know, your squad and whatnot. But it's just a great game. It really is. It's a great game. Great graphics, an interesting storyline, and really fun gameplay and challenging gameplay. This game is no pushover. You can get killed pretty quickly in this game. There are a lot of scenarios where I'm sitting here and all hell's breaking loose. The aliens have this big drop ship coming down. It's like this big mech, right? And they're trying to take me down. Then there's other, you know, enemies on the side here trying to flank me. It's a really challenging game, but it's just so much fun to play. And you know, you really do have to think strategically when you go into this. I think the problem is that the Bureau used the XCOM, you know, license. And a lot of people sat there and said, well, I don't like strategy games, so I'm not going to play this game. This game is not a strategy game. Believe me, I don't like strategy games at all. That is like the least appealing genre to me, outside of sports games too. I don't play sports games. I don't play strategy games. Don't really play simulators at all. But, you know, this game it's like Mass Effect. It's really similar to Mass Effect. So if you liked Mass Effect, you'll like this game, and I really encourage you all to go out and buy it. I think the Microsoft Store is having a deal on that game. So, but I encourage you all, go find the game. It's a really fun game. I'm playing through it right now. I'm probably about 6-8 hours in or something like that. I don't know how long it is, but I'm really enjoying my time with it. And I've yet to find out why this game deserves anything less than an 8.0. You know, I really just don't know why. So that's currently what I'm playing through, and those are currently my thoughts on what I have played. All right. So now let's get on to like the real stuff that's coming up. All right. Game pre-orders this month, actually next week. I'm gonna be going to take a trip to GameStop, and I'm gonna finally pre-order my first wave of next gen titles for my next gen system. So here's what I'm gonna pre-order. All right. I wish I could tell you guys right now, but I still don't know if I'm going to go and get Tomb Raider the Definitive Edition. The reason is because right now I'm trying to figure out financially, can I in good conscience go and buy a third copy of a game I already own. All right, I have Tomb Raider for Xbox 360. I have Tomb Raider digitally for my PC. All right, now Tomb Raider the Definitive Edition, Crystal Dynamics came out and said, no, this game is going to look better than the PC version. We completely revamped the multiplayer. They're like praising the hell out of this version of the game. They're like, no, this is really the definitive version of the game. So I don't know whether or not I'm gonna buy it. If the game was $40, I might have pre-ordered it already. That $60 price tag, considering that I already own 2 copies of the game itself. You know, I am a huge Tomb Raider fan. I consider myself a huge Tomb Raider fan, but I'm not. I mean, 3 copies of the same game. I'm trying to figure out, do I really need to, get a third copy here? When I already know what the story is going to be like, and I already pretty much, I spent my time with Tomb Raider on Xbox 360. I collected all the collectibles in the game. I 100%ed that game on the Xbox 360. So, considering I played Tomb Raider earlier in 2013, I played it again in the middle of 2013 during the summer, I still don't know whether or not I'm going to go and get the Definitive Edition and play it once again. I would have played this game 3 times already in the course of a year, and it's like, I love Tomb Raider, but, replaying it again and again and again, so, I really just don't know. if anything, I'll just pick it up much later and probably play it much later. But that's beside the point. All right, so I still don't have an answer for you guys on the Tomb Raider, the Definitive Edition. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll keep you guys updated on whether or not I can. But really looking right now, I don't think I'm gonna get it. I really don't think I'm gonna get it. But that may change depending on how I'm doing. So, what I am getting definitely is Thief. All right, I haven't played. Actually, no, I bought Thief: Deadly Shadows on Steam. And I decided I played it for like 15 minutes. I said I can't play this game. This game is like way too old school for me. It's a little bit, it's this is a franchise that started way back, I think in the 80s or something. It's a really old franchise. But I tried playing Deadly Shadows and I was like, I can't do this. No. it did not keep my interest that long enough. But Thief, actually, the new reboot of the game looks really good. And I know a lot of fans are going to say, well, it looks like Dishonored. It looks like Dishonored. It kind of does look like Dishonored a little bit. The art style is a little bit less shell shaded. I can't ever say that. Shell shaded than Dishonored. But, I can kind of see why. It's sort of during that steampunk sort of era. With the city and stuff like that. But it does look really good. I'm really interested to play it. I love stealth games to death. That's one of my favorite genres. So this is a game I'm definitely excited for. I plan to get it on the PlayStation 4, and there's no collector's edition for it. So, but I am really excited for Thief. I will be picking that up in February. All right. Titanfall. All right, this is an Xbox One and PC exclusive for Microsoft that they're touting. This is like the game. This is the big game. This is why you need an Xbox One or I guess a PC or whatever. The game's coming out for 360 too, so I don't know why they're pushing it like this is our big next gen title. It's not like it's a exclusive really. But Titanfall looks good. This is a multiplayer game only. Which I don't know how I feel about that. I enjoy multiplayer games, but I'm hoping that the game is fun to play. Because the problem with multiplayer games is if people decide to be pricks and camp and do nothing, it can result in a frustrated experience. But I am planning on getting the game for the Xbox One. I'm not getting the collector's edition. I'm sorry, $250 for a big statue, and I mean, no. This is a brand. I'm kind of a bit insulted because this is a brand new IP, and you're asking people to pay $250 for a game that they don't even know what to expect. It's not like we've had a previous entry in the series and we know this is a good series and that we're going to enjoy it. We don't know what we're gonna like with this game, and you're asking people to make this huge investment so early on. This is a brand new franchise that hasn't even been. No one's ever really played, so it's really odd. I don't know why $250. Why I thought that was a good idea, But no, I'd rather take that $250 and buy a Wii U. All right, because at least I'd be able to play a little bit more games on it, and it wouldn't just be a statue that lights up in my room. So I'm just getting the regular edition on the Xbox One. So we'll see how that is when the game comes out in March, all right? Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, I'm not really pre-ordering that because it's actually only digital for next-gen only. You can actually pre-order the game for $30 for PS3 and Xbox 360, but the game's only coming digitally for PS4 and Xbox One. So I am going to be getting the game for the PS4. It's Metal Gear. It was a PlayStation exclusive franchise, so that being said, I'm going to get it on the latest PlayStation product. And when it goes live on the store, I will go ahead and download it and definitely play the game and hopefully be able to bring you guys direct capture footage. It's rumored the next PlayStation 4 update will be the removal of the HDCP for gameplay, which is going to be great. So now I can upload test videos of the PlayStation 4 direct capture gameplay as well. I won't just be limited to just doing Xbox One direct capture. So yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, I'm really excited for. I liked the first Metal Gear game I played was Metal Gear Solid 4, and I enjoyed it. But Ground Zeroes looks really cool, and the Phantom Pain looks really cool. I'm really excited for that. So hopefully it's really good. So I will be definitely getting that. Coming up after that is Infamous Second Son, which is a game everyone's pretty much excited for. This is like the big PlayStation exclusive, the first really PlayStation exclusive. I can't talk. That everyone's waiting for. You know, this is like, oh, this is the reason to get a PlayStation 4 and whatnot. So, I'm excited. I always enjoyed Infamous as a series. I always thought it was pretty good. I liked the first one. I loved the first one. I liked the second one. So Infamous Second Son looks really good, and I'm definitely gonna pre-order it. Why am I smacking my lips? I'm definitely gonna pre-order it, and definitely, I'm not doing the collector's edition. I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, I don't need that $80 or the $80 with the hat. I don't need the beanie. I don't wear beanies. I'm a sunglass person. I'm not a hat person. So it's just that being said, I'm just gonna be getting the standard limited edition of the game when it releases late March. All right. After that is Dying Light. Now this is a game that doesn't really have a release date yet, but I'm expecting April, maybe March. But Dying Light is an interesting game because Dead Island was one of the most horrible games I've ever played in my life. And I would actually give it in one of the top 3 worst games this generation is Dead Island. I was so disgusted with how Dead Island turned out. That the game was basically boring and unplayable single player. And the only reason that anyone would have said I like Dead Island is if you played the game co-op with someone. That's the only reason. If you played the game single player, and believe me, I put about 8 hours in the game single player. I really did try to like the game, alright? But I just couldn't. The game was just boring. It was tedious. You had a story that was not interesting, that had no emotional impact, no character development. Your characters were annoying too. The people that you had to play with were really annoying. You had graphics that looked outdated and blurry and way too bright. It was like weird. And then the gameplay was very tedious and just boring and just monotonous gameplay. So that being said, Dying Light is the developers taking the game and they're sort of mixing it with Mirror's Edge parkour elements, which is basically the only thing winning me over is the fact that you can free run around the world. Because that gameplay, the free running parkour gameplay is a type of gameplay that has yet to really be delved into. Outside of Mirror's Edge, there's really no other game that's taken really advantage of this parkour gameplay. Dying Light is going to be the second game that as far as I know, that's really going to have this in its core gameplay. So that's really the only thing that's keeping me, really interested in that. I'm hoping the story's interesting. I'm hoping that they're actually going to develop an emotional storyline and not have it just be thrown in there for the fact that, oh, this game has a story. The graphics look really good, which is really awesome. And the gameplay, like I said, Mirror's Edge parkour mixed with sort of the Dead Island gameplay, which I really hated. So it's going to be an interesting game. I may hate it. I may absolutely love it. I may think that, this game is an exceptional just masterpiece, or I may think it's one of the worst games that I've ever played. I don't know. But I'm going to be taking a leap of faith with this game. Alright, it's from a developer that I don't trust. But I'm going to see. We're going to give them another chance. Brand new generation. They have a brand new publisher this time around. So we're going to give them a chance. Alright? I'm going to be getting Dying Light on the... I want to say Xbox One. Alright, but it depends. Alright, because I know in terms of... actually, the developers came out and said that they're playing for both PS4 and Xbox One, that they want to have the game running at 1080p, 60 frames per second. And they said that they're going to be able to do this. They said, it looks like we're going to be able to do this. So, the game's going to be 1080p, 60 frames per second on, both the PS4 and Xbox One. At least this is what the developers are saying. We already know it's confirmed 1080p on the PS4. I'm hoping it's the same for Xbox One. But regardless, I am planning on getting the game for the Xbox One. That may change over time, but as far as this initial pre-order, I am going to be pre-ordering it for the Xbox One. Watch Dogs, information about Watch Dogs. I already pre-ordered and paid the game off in full. If you guys remember, that game was supposed to be a launch title for the PlayStation 4, and I was really excited for it. So I got the Collector's Edition on the PlayStation 4, and I already pre-ordered it and paid it off completely in full. So I'm just waiting for that game to get a release date before I go ahead and pick it up. But I am getting a collector's edition for Watch Dogs. All right. Um, the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm actually gonna be pre-ordering this game. I didn't pre-order the Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, but I did actually really enjoy the game. I really enjoyed it a lot. I thought that the Amazing Spider-Man video game had a better story than the Amazing Spider-Man movie, the reboot that they did. But I'm actually gonna pre-order this game. A Spider-Man. I can't remember the last time. I don't think I ever pre-ordered a Spider-Man game like ever. All right. There's been over the course of the last generation. There's been some good Spider-Man games. You know, we had Shattered Dimensions from Beanox, which was actually a great Spider-Man game, and then the Amazing Spider-Man was also a great Spider-Man game. So I have faith in them that the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is going to be a really good game if they just use the mechanics and sort of you know uh sort of refine the controls, maybe add some new stuff in. I think it's going to be a really fun game. So I am going to be pre-ordering it on the PlayStation 4, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and the movie. Have you guys seen the movie trailer for it? The movie trailer looks like a video game. That's how much CGI they used in that trailer. It looks exactly like a video game. It's funny. It's like you feel like you're watching a video game trailer when it's really the movie trailer. So they used the fuck out of CGI in that whole film. It looks weird. I don't know why that sort of art style is there. I don't mind it as much, but it's just it kind of feels weird when you're supposed to be watching a movie and you sort of get that feeling that you're watching a video game. It's kind of odd, but I guess we're supposed to be used to that, and we have games that pretty much blur the lines, like talk about Beyond Two Souls or The Last of Us or something like that, that really blur the lines between movie and cinema, or cinema and video games. So yeah. After that, what else is coming out? Oh, The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt. I don't know if GameStop has their pre-orders open for that yet, but I am planning on getting the game for the Xbox One. Alright, so The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. So, yes. And then Destiny, also. I want to get Destiny on the PlayStation 4. So that way, actually, pre-ordering my copy of Destiny gets me beta access, and supposedly PlayStation 4 is supposed to have an exclusive early beta that none of the other platforms are going to have. So it's going to be pretty cool to be able to delve into that game kind of relatively early. From what I've heard, Bungie is going to have the beta in the summer, which I think is a tremendous time because the summer is usually dead. The summer is so dead and boring for video games. I hate the summer because it's a time where everyone's off school and everyone's on break, but there's like no games to play. It's weird, so we'll see, but we do have that. So we have Thief, Titanfall, Infamous, Dying Light, Destiny, The Witcher 3, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I think that's about it. All right, I do think that's about it. I think that's my first wave of pre-orders. All right, so that's 7 games. All right, we already know that Thief has a release date for February. So does Titanfall, and so does Infamous. All right, I'm still waiting for Dying Light, which I expect. Oh, Wolfenstein: The New Order too. I totally forgot about the game. Yes, Wolfenstein: The New Order. I'm planning on getting the game for the PlayStation 4. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Also, The Evil Within. I just remembered all these games. The Evil Within for the Xbox One, probably. So yeah, okay. Just add those 2 games to the list, and that's what I plan on getting. The Wolfenstein was supposed to come out in December. I hope it actually gets a release date, soon. I'm expecting probably spring. Seems like a good idea. A spring release date. The Evil Within will probably have like a fall or something. Around Halloween time actually would be a cool time for that game to come out. But yeah. All right. There's a couple other games like The Division, obviously, that I'm going to wait on the pre-order because there really is no reason to pre-order it yet, and I want to see some more information, some more gameplay about the game. Maybe there's a collector's edition that will get announced first. Mad Max is also coming out. I don't know. I know it's by the guys who made Just Cause 2, and I actually really enjoyed Just Cause 2. So if I see more gameplay and something, grabs my attention, I might want to pick that one up as well. Um, Other than that, oh, Quantum Break, which is my most anticipated Xbox One title for 2014. Looks really interesting. GameStop hasn't opened up the pre-orders, and I want to see if there's any collector's editions or something else announced for that game. But that's pretty much it, guys. All right, this channel update's really long. It's almost 40 minutes long. It's gonna be 40 minutes long. So thank you guys for sticking in here. Oh wait, I didn't even explain the VGAs. Jeez, there's a lot to talk about. All right, really quickly. I still gotta beat those games before I actually delve into the full VGA awards. All right, but I am still expecting a late January launch for those. Follow me on Twitter for more information about that. Now, my VGAs, considering all the YouTube copyright claims that are going around, they're gonna be exactly the same as they always been. All right, and I'm hoping, I'm hoping, please, that YouTube doesn't sit there and flag and that video gets taken down. All right, so I just don't know. It's always sort of a hit or miss, but I guess we'll see. Also, school. I am actually doing winter session this time around for college, sort of just to get ahead, get more credits. So winter session starts Tuesday for me. So also I'm gonna have to balance in games, winter session, video game awards. So just bear with me. It's gonna be really hectic. I'll have some more information about some more content that's coming up, maybe some more Call of Duty matches, or whenever PlayStation 4 gets that new update which disables the HDCP for gaming, I will go ahead and do test videos, maybe some more Battlefield 4 gameplay and whatnot. And I guess we'll go on from there, right guys? So thanks for watching. Have a great day. If you watched this whole 40 minutes of channel update, you're an amazing person. You're obviously one of the biggest fans of mine, and I really appreciate that. I'm setting the bar kind of high this year. I hope to get 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I think I can do it. At the rate I've been going, I think I'll probably get 5,000 by the middle of this year, really. So I want to thank everyone for all the effort, all the support. That's really awesome. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the content. Again, give me feedback on Twitter. You can always contact me on Twitter. 99% of the time, I will write back to you if it's a question that I haven't answered before. I guess I'll see you guys later. All right, guys? Have a great day, and goodbye.